Get everybody. Yeah. Welcome to another Hellenic Pagans video. This one being number 32. Hellenic Pagan videos are brought to you by the Ancient Hellenic Fellowship of Mystics. This video is recorded at Agape Prophet House in Larissa, Hellas, or Greece. My name is Evan Rigakis, and I am your administrator. Okay, before I get started, I want to acknowledge that I think it's been like 4 months or so since my last video, and I apologize for that. I had a little bout with my health, about a month and a half of that, and I got other duties too, so I'm sorry, but I realize that, when you see that 4 months goes by and I don't post another video, I like to keep them at about at least one video a month, but I don't always get to do that. And the more it goes, I'm sure a lot of you would be thinking, oh, the channel's dead, the channel's dead. No, I'm still alive, but, very, very busy. I got a lot of things to write and research and stuff like that. Which brings me to this video, Apollo Descending Olympus, Archaeological Evidence. Something happened in the archaeological world recently with a site about, I don't know how far away it is, but there's a little town, maybe a half hour, maybe an hour, I don't know. It's called Karditsa, and just outside Karditsa, they have an ancient site, the city of Metropolis, and they just got approved by the Greek government for funding the rebuilding of the Temple of Apollo over there. But I'm going to get into that here, because anything to do with Apollo, I tend to take notice a lot. Okay, let me start this. Okay, there's a story about Apollo when he descended Olympus to go to Delphi, and there he would fight the ruler, who was this Titan called Typhon, and he would then rule Delphi. So the story also says that as he was descending Olympus, he made a stop. And the stop was at this, like the first town or city at that time that he came to on Mount Olympus, and he got married there to the princess of said city, And then he moved on, and then he continued descending Olympus. And now, when I first knew this story, I thought, okay, well, you know, there's no real town, you know. I mean, this is mythology, right? And it was only after I started my research, way back in '87, that things were very different. And so I never really gave the story a lot of thought. Like, okay, so he stopped somewhere, he got married, yada, 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 and he went to Delphi. Until I was actually in Greece, and over the TV here in Larissa, the TV announced the discovery of a temple of Apollo in a village on Mount Olympus, very, very close to here, very close to my mother's village, because she's from, and it's up on Olympus. It might be a half hour away from where we are here, because we are at the foothills of Mount Olympus. Like, if I look out to the north, I can see Mount Olympus. Yeah, no, washing the dishes and looking up and seeing Mount Olympus is like, I'm washing the dishes and I can see Mount Olympus. To everybody else, what's the big deal? But to a Hellenist, it's mind-boggling for me. So, anyways, let me continue here. Okay. Now, yeah, the town's about 60 miles from here, from Larissa. The temple was actually found, as a lot of temples are found like this. In this village, in this town, they had a Byzantine or Byzantine, or however you want to pronounce the fucking thing, but a Byzantine church had been built there. Very, very old. So it's like maybe 1,200 years old, or even 1,000. You know what? I don't know, but I know was really, really old, and it was actually falling apart. And there was a large part that had completely broken off and exposed the foundation. Well, it turns out that this foundation was the Temple of Apollo. And that's what they did back then. When the temples were destroyed, they weren't just destroyed. A lot of them would be, the marbles were used to build their other shit, you know, their walls, whatever. In Dion, which is, again, close by, they found, when it became Christian, they had taken even statues of Hera and of Zeus, and used them to build their walls, like right into the wall. You know, mud over it and everything. Okay, there's a lot of examples like that. Anyways, so this is how they found the Temple of Apollo. The glorious thing about this is that there's a little law here in Greece that if you run into ancient artifacts while you're digging to build this or that or whatever you're doing, it's terminated. Your work is terminated, and they come along, the government, and they'll dig up the whole site. So when this got exposed, that little law kicked in, and so they demolished the church to expose the temple. That was a really glorious day. So, yeah, I know they saved all their icons and all their memorabilia. But there's a lot of temples throughout Greece have been found like that, underneath, because that's what they would do. They would build on top of it, use it as a foundation, and build their churches. So this is how this temple was found. So just to give you a little bit of perspective, as I said, Larissa is at the foothills of Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus is not a mountain with one peak. Mount Olympus is a mountain range, and it actually has 5 peaks. And they run right around there. Anyways, it extends from one coast to nearly the other, Mount Olympus. I mean, I go swimming at this beach, and Mount Olympus is on one side, and Mount Kisavo is on the other side. And whenever I see that mountain, I always think of that cartoon, The Mighty Hercules, where Mount Olympus is exactly that, because that's how Kisavo is. It's exactly like one point, almost like a pyramid. Now, if you go approximately 2 kilometers this way, north, you'll come to the foothills of Mount Olympus. But especially in this location, the first hill that you see is a hill-shaped, I swear. Maybe someday I'll take a video of that and share it. But the foothill is a perfect pyramid. And later I find out that that whole valley that ends up here is called the Valley of the Titans, from the story Titan. You see that? And I'm Greek, right? The Battle of the Titans. Titanamachia. You gotta say it fast or something. Okay. Yes. I am Greek, but most of my life was in America and Canada. Okay, so my Greek, I've only been here for 3 years now, so my Greek still needs polishing. Okay, yeah. Larissa is the ancient city of Achilles. Achilles supposedly was born at the beach here. Well, it's about 20 minutes away, but at the beach here, where Tethys, his mother, had dunked him into the sea up to his Achilles' heel, and that was done down here somewhere, very close by. Anyways, just FYI, FYI, for your information. I hate those acronyms. Okay, so on the surface, this stop that he does at this town gives us a lot of it's very significant. A few points of it. First of all, it's marriage. Marriage in ancient Greece, depending on the city-state, but most city-states will not consider you married, even if you go through the ceremony and everything like that, will not consider you married until you have your first kid. So, a lot of times when you hear a god getting married to another god or a goddess, or what have you, whenever they get married, there's always offspring. There's always something, which, of course, was a great controversy when Hades married Corey or Persephone, because they weren't, out of respect for the dead, they weren't allowed to have children, or they weren't supposed to have children. But they got married. Married implies children. So Hades and Persephone definitely had a child. But it was covered up by, and Bacchus was the child of Hades and Persephone. And because of this rule that they weren't supposed to have children out of respect for the dead, they covered it up by admitting that it was Zeus and Persephone who had Bacchus. Of course, totally off topic, but the topic is marriage. Marriage is the most ancient rite of the Greeks. Their mysteries, the first mysteries were the mysteries of marriage. And they were associated with the Kabiri, the primordial fire deities. The reason for it also is because the mystery of marriage is the development of family, creation. This was a divine act. The gods allowed you to have children, back then. So that's why family is so very important. It's the first thing that you're taught as a little Greek light, family is the most important thing. So, this means that Apollo got married and the marriage rite was Kabirian, which sort of tells us something about that city, Pythio. I mean, is it really, is it as old as the ruins that they have there, which are definitely of Apollo? Or was the city much older and more towards the Kabirian race? Or somehow there is a connection between this city and the Kabirian mysteries. You know, I'm just troubleshooting here, but that's what marriage should do. Whenever you read about a marriage, the marriage of Cadmos and Harmony, Harmonia, always pay attention that when they get married, there's offspring. Now, for the life of me, and I've been searching wherever I could, I have not seen a son or a daughter of Apollo from this city-state, Pythio. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that, right? So shouldn't there have been offspring? Absolutely. But the story ends like that. You see, it just says that he got married and they moved on. He doesn't say, you know, they had 2 children, but the act of marriage is having children for them back then. So I'm sorry, but I have not been able to find anything related to this as a child or whatever coming from this. So, but that's also the reason why they built the Temple of Apollo, was they built it there because to commemorate. Remember, temples are there as memorials to commemorate an event, normally, generally. So the temple was erected, and along with the temple, they also found something they called the pathway of Apollo. And it's, again, ruins, but I mean, it's like a long road. I'm going to be putting a link to this place in the description below. So just to affirm that this was where Apollo had come down. Very, very interesting stuff there. There is another place around here, maybe 15 minutes away, called Tembi, and it's where Mount Olympus comes to an end, and another mountain comes in. This is like the pathway through, and there's like a river and everything like that. And what was found there was that this is where Apollo met and courted Daphne. You don't find a temple there, but it's not, maybe it's just not detectable, because there is a church built right into the mountain. So, but just outside the church, there's a little pathway that goes right into the rock and goes down little steps, very narrow, and it ends up at this underground spring. They called it the Spring of Daphne. Nowadays, whereas today Christians go down there and collect this water as holy water. Go figure. Okay. So, because of its proximity, somehow, and again, he gets married in Pythio. Here at Tembe, he's fooling around with his mistress, Daphne, I guess. Never mind. Okay, so that's how I relate these two together. So the story actually continues that from Pythio he went to Tembe, and from Tembe I would have assumed he would have gone on to Delphi. But like I said in the beginning, turns out that there's another temple of Apollo, and it's very close by. And because of its proximity again, I initially thought it might be another stop on his way to Delphi, but turns out no. The temple is found in the ancient city of Metropolis, located in the region of Karditsa. I'm going to be putting a link to this as well, so you can see that. Maybe I'll put a link. Would you like a link? I'll put a link. I'll put a link to Tembe, so you can see that too. But what you're going to see at Tembe is Christian church and stuff. So. In Metropolis, usually you find Apollo, and he's either a musician or the oracle or stuff like that. But in Metropolis, he's depicted as a warrior, and he's dubbed the protector of the city. So has nothing to do with his descent or anything like that. Yeah. So I said that. They finally released the funds, so they're rebuilding the temple of Apollo at Metropolis, and the Greek government just approved the funding, which is a big flipping thing. Yeah, definitely. And I like that it's close by. When I learned about Greek temples, I made a little side project to learn the story behind the temples I came across. And what I found was so astonishing what you can learn through these stories that are not found in the stories. You know, like they're not found in history books, definitely not. For instance, one of my absolute favorite stories is the story of Prometheus. We all know how he stole the fire from Olympus and brought it to the people. What we don't know is where he brought it to, and what people did he bring it to. Well, in my research and this temple thing, it turns out that the people he brought it to were the Kabirian people. Yes, and the place was Thebes, where Prometheus was a resident. He lived there. Oh, so there's where a lot of mix-up comes in. Thebes was established way before the Doric invasion. The Dorics came and basically exiled, you know, kicked everybody out of Thebes and took over the city. Those people they kicked out were called Kabiri. So even though we know the Kabiri as primordial fire deities, companions of the great mother Gaia, but they're also a primordial people, actual people. Perhaps the ancestors of the Greeks. Who said that? Did I say that? Shit. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. Okay, so. And that's why you hear, you know, Prometheus lived there. So he was a Kabiri, whereas we know Prometheus as a Titan. But this is how we know Prometheus as a Titan and as a Kabiri. But not the deity Kabiri, the people Kabiri. So that makes you wonder then, like, somehow this mortal went up to Olympus and stole the fire? How the hell did he do that? It's mythology. Anywho, so now we know where Prometheus actually did all that. You know, brought the fire to the people, and then it spread from there. Stuff like that. Yeah, I've always felt that the reasoning behind erecting a Greek temple is a strong indication that at least some gods are actual beings. But that would have to be another video. But the implication that the temple is built to commemorate the sighting of the god that the temple is built for, and in that spot. So it's like the witness. That's another video. So that's another thing. I know that they built the Parthenon in just outside Nashville. Never got the pleasure of actually going there, and I was in Texas. But if I get a lot of requests asking me about building a temple, like groups that trying to pull the funds together to build a temple. The answer is always the same. If you're going to go along Greek terms, then wherever you build that temple, there has to be some sort of connection, sighting, or whatever, of the god or goddess that you're building the temple to. No, I don't recall any stories about Athena in Nashville. So, but there is a little bit of a loophole. Wink, wink. Your own experience with one of the gods or goddesses is warrant enough to build a temple for that event, for when you met or seen or spoke to. Now, a lot of times these visitations, let's just call them visitations, happen either in a vision or in dreams, stuff like that. So it's not really around, but the fact that you had that experience, and of course if it's a recurring experience and whatever, the location where you had the experience or experiences or whatever would warrant a temple being built to that god or goddess. So that's a loophole. But we're allowed to do that because, we're not the ancients. So, okay. Thank you for staying all the way till the end of this little piece. Please like and subscribe if you are so inclined. I promise soon to have the next video out, but I can't promise shit. So, okay. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.